What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Blockhash Podcast channel. Let's talk crypto. Today, we're going to talk about Hedera HBAR, HBAR. I'll give you my price prediction for where I think it's going to go as we get into the fall here in the rest of 2023. Make sure to check out our sponsor, BENFT. They're revolutionizing the way that you do education, the way that you learn using DeFi methods and artificial intelligence. It's really, really cool stuff. Check out all their links in the description for the episode down below. Also, check out our Patreon. It only costs 2 cups of coffee a month, and you get access to the chart analysis Monday through Friday before it comes out on YouTube. So get ahead of the game and everybody else. It's good coffee. All right, so let's take a look at HBAR. Still, we are down on the year since coming back up from a low of around 3.5 cents. HBAR is still sitting at about 5.2, more or less. Over the last month or so, since mid-June, HBAR has started to make a slow move to the upside after having a disastrous drop after its pop in the beginning of the year. HBAR was looking great. Unfortunately, inflation tokenomics kicked in and the market over-exaggerated its move. So it went from getting as high as almost 10 cents, now coming all the way back down to being half that. Okay, it plunged. It was hard to get out of this. It was a nasty, like 4-month cycle of this. But it looks like that is over with, so we can remove that trend line. We have resistance around the 6 cent level, where HBAR has come up twice to try and break it and unsuccessfully has not. When we zoom in on what HBAR needs to do, well, it needs to start holding its EMAs. That's one problem. It can't get over the 200, can't stay over the 100. A buoyancy problem which gets pushed back down. So either HBAR is going to finally break this and confirm it's in a bull cycle, which it did not do, and this was made clear over months. Either it does that and it rockets on up. It's an entire possibility. Or HBAR is going to have some more down days and it's going to suck. So that's what we're looking to figure out as we go into the fall for HBAR. Backing off of the EMA and pulling up the wonderful Bollinger Bands. The top of the Bollinger Band has been a bit of a resistance area for HBAR as well, has not been able to really clear it. Riding between the bands more than it is on the moving average. So it is trying to push out, but it just hasn't been able to. Crypto has just not presented a favorable environment for it. Until now, things are starting to change. Now the question is, can we trickle to the upside very slowly? It's a good question. Looking at the RSI, it is tried to push itself up and it's gotten itself slightly oversold. So we're sitting above the moving average, but we're just moving sideways here on the RSI. Nothing in particular to be excited about. On the MACD, kind of the same thing. We're in a bullish stage and scenario where this could pop off and we could see big moves from HBAR. I know everyone would be happy about that, but still, there's just no clear indication where we are heading, and that's the rub with all of this. Now, if we back out to the weekly, I want to show you guys something real quick. Something interesting happens every 3 years with altcoins, and it's the same for HBAR. Around November and December every 3 years, so in 2020 was the last time, HBAR had a significant move to the upside. It just started going. All right. We had a big push here at the beginning of the year, but we had a big push at the beginning of the year in 2020 as well. All right. Then that trickled off. It had a little bit of more of a push up, but it trickled off. Okay. And settled very low. Now, can you see the similarity where we popped up at the beginning of the year, 3 years later, trickled down? All right. It might find its way up around the top of this Bollinger Band on the weekly. It might not. All right. We don't know for sure. But what we do know is that in this 3-year pattern, and this chart doesn't go back far enough for HBAR, unfortunately, but it does for the other altcoins, and I tell you, it's the same thing. As we get into late fall, November and December of 2020, same thing will happen here, November and December of 2023, in just a few months, Okay, it's the end of July. We have all of August, September, and October before we hit November. So in about 3 months, August, September, October, once those are cleared, we are going to see something very interesting happen. Or I should say August, September, October, November. Yeah, in 3 months. Where we are likely going to see a move, all right? And if it's anywhere similar to this, HBAR is going to go ballistic, just like most altcoins probably will. And they will pull back very harshly as you get into the next year, where Bitcoin goes through its halving cycle, all right? Bitcoin cleared its halving cycle in 2020. So this altcoin season came slightly after it, but it popped eventually, following Bitcoin all the way up. And we're likely to see the same thing, except this one will be premature and it'll precede Bitcoin's halving. It'll pop up, and then right around the time Bitcoin clears its halving in late 2024, we should see the real alt season. But if we're talking about getting through all-time highs, this could be cleared a lot faster. Who knows? I'm just saying altcoins can move when people have confidence and the money starts flowing. So that's what we're looking for. But there's some similarities here with what we've seen in the past. Very stark similarities that I do like. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. We'll go into the 30 minutes just for fun to see what we're doing on the daily, get a really good feel for things. Okay, way down here. So as we're marching along, we're trying to figure shit out, see if we can get back to the upside. What do I think HBAR will be as we get into the fall? Come September, October-ish, I do think that HBAR is going to start to find its way back up to... let's go back to the daily. It's 30 minutes too choppy. All right, I do think we're going to clear 6 cents, and I do think we'll make a push to the 7 cent level. All right, anywhere between 7 cents, which seems to have a lot of resistance, to 8 cents, which there's some resistance. So 7 to 8 cents by the time we get to September or October is my guess. If that doesn't happen, then we're going to have to wait until the very end of the year. But if this is a bullish move, we are likely to see maybe one more retest sometime in August, potentially, and then something like this. That's the optimistic scenario. My prediction on the downside is that we try to hit this one more time, it doesn't happen, and then we trickle off until the end of the year. And then we find a way backwards in time. Yeah, so it's going to happen eventually. It's just a matter of time, and that's always the trickiest thing. You can't really tell at what point in time this is going to happen, because this could still be a downward trend. But we won't know until this plays out, because it has to retest this area, this ceiling that's also been a former floor. And if it can't hold that, that's a bad sign. I have a lot of concerns about HBAR, but I also have a lot of things I'm optimistic about. So we'll just see how it plays out, and we'll keep covering it, and we'll stay on top of things. But comment your thoughts down below on HBAR. Make sure to share this with someone, like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you so much. You are the best. And let me know what I should cover next for chart analysis. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Cheers.